What to do once your SP is coming back? How are you supposed to react and what not to do? This is what we are going to discuss today. Hello, manifestors. I am a manifestation coach. I help people transform their lives. If you want to check about my one on one coaching, email coaching, or Facebook private group, please check the links down below. So, how to react, how to act when your SP is showing back up in your life. While it might be tough for someone to manifest their specific person, many find it even tougher to handle the pressure when they are showing back up. So, how should you act and react when you start getting those texts, those calls from your SP, and how not to mess it up when it happens? This is what we are going to discuss today, as it was a request from someone that I make such video, because it is true that there are not that many videos talking about this. So be sure to stick to the end, otherwise this video won't be of any use to you. And also please subscribe and like the video, because this is a new channel. And the more you subscribe and like the video, the more people who need this type of information will get to it. The first thing I want to say is this. The more you are going to understand that you need to work on yourself while you are manifesting your specific person, while you are single, the less you will stress out when they are showing back up. This is why you must work on self-love, self-confidence. This is why you need to focus on yourself, on your well-being, your health, your job, your career, as much as you can while they are not there. Work on your individuality as a person, completely separated from them. You see, a healthy relationship, it's not two half of a person, it's two whole persons. So you need to be whole on your own by yourself in order to manifest your specific person, but in order to be strong enough and not fall back into your old habits once they come back. So while they are gone, while your SP is gone, it is a must that you first recognize them, recognize your insecurities, and then work on fixing them. For example, neediness or doubts come from insecurities. Insecurities usually come from lack of self-esteem, lack of self-love, and lack of valuing yourself as a person for whatever reason it is that you are doing this. These probably not only reflected on your relationship, but most probably on other areas of your life as well. So take the time to work on those. If you need personal help, for example, you should get personal help. I can tell you one thing, there's nothing like getting help, one-on-one help, if you need help. I can see that from my clients, for example. They are always telling me the same thing. Watching videos, reading posts on Facebook is great, but there is nothing like speaking to someone who can help you one-on-one. And I'm not telling you this to get you as a client. I'm telling you this because maybe this is the question that you need to ask yourself. Not everybody needs a coach, but some people do. Not everybody needs a doctor, but some people do. So depending on what you need at this point, you must recognize what you need and what you don't need and pick what you need to do in order to progress in your personal development. But anyhow, no matter what you do, whether it is going to the gym, take some business class, get some personal development coaching, Practice daily affirmation, EFT, meditation, and all that good stuff. You must do it. Because if you don't, if you just sit there while you're manifesting your SP, obviously you are not going to feel secure and confident when they come back. What's going to happen, however, is that you are not going to feel secure at all when they are coming back. And doubts and fears are going to creep up again, exactly as when you lost them in the first place. And no matter what you're practicing to improve yourself, I want to add this. Don't forget that there are 24 hours in a day, and the hours while you sleep count as well. But even if we are talking only about the hours while you're awake, you cannot practice what you've been practicing only like 1 or 2 hours during the day. It must be something that you practice all throughout the day, not just here and there during the day. Because as I said in another video, it's what you think about the most that it's going to win this game, okay? The most being the key word here. So if you practice whatever you practice to improve yourself just 1 hour out of a day, it's not going to be enough. Now, I know what you're going to say. There are no classes that I can take all day long. There is no technique that I can practice all day long. Well, as a matter of fact, there is one. Even two. There are two things that you can practice all day long, even while you sleep. And those are your thoughts and your state. And the best way to get into the habit, to get into a routine until it becomes a habit, so that your thoughts will be automatically good, automatically positive, on autopilot, so to speak, is by practicing affirmations. Affirmations are things that you're telling yourself either out loud or in your head. And what you keep on telling yourself will definitely, eventually, being imprinted in your subconscious mind. But before something gets imprinted in your subconscious mind, it needs to be imprinted in your conscious mind. It is your conscious mind that is going to send eventually the message into your subconscious mind. So, in other words, for you not to freak out and start panicking or feeling some negative old habits when your SP shows up, you must be ready. Let's say you want to run a marathon. You are not going to show up for that marathon without preparing and training for the marathon before, right? You would never do that. You know that the better prepared you are, the easiest your marathon will be. Your experience running the marathon will be. So it is the same thing when you want to manifest an SP and even any other thing you may want to manifest. Because a lot of times we want to manifest something, but we think we are ready to receive that thing that we want so much, but we are not ready at all. And that's why when it shows up, we are overwhelmed, we feel panicky, and we feel like, oh my goodness, what do I do now? And this is because we are not prepared. So to take my analogy of a marathon here, what do you do to prepare for a marathon? Well, you are going to run, right? And why running is the best thing to do to prepare for a marathon? Well, because that's what you do in a marathon. Marathon is about running. So in order to prepare for a marathon, what do? Well, you run. When you prepare for the comeback of your SP, what do? Well, you are already in the state of being in a relationship with your person. So no matter what happens, you are unshakable. Okay, so now keep this in mind while thinking about being ready when your SP shows up. Most likely, there is going to be, or there are going to be, bridges of incidents. And by the way, in my next video, I will be explaining what bridges of incident are, and that they are not always as easy and smooth as you may expect them to be. They won't always look like and feel like what you expected. So first off, in order not to be panicking when you are facing an unexpected bridge of incident, you must be unshakable about your desire. That's why having a good base is important. If you know that you've done your state akin to sleep imagination correctly, you know you've done that plenty of times enough, and you've managed to stay in the state of your wish fulfilled all throughout the day, you do not have to worry about how your SP is going to show up. And I'm going to leave this at that for now, because in my next video I'm going to explain in detail what bridges of incidents can look like and how it doesn't always look like what you expected, and sometimes they can be very tricky. But I want to mention this briefly in this video because that's the first thing that may happen. A very strange, unexpected bridge of incident. That's why you need to know that you've done your work correctly and not to worry about that bridge of incident, which is one or more of the steps that will take you from point A to point B, point A being you not even speaking to your SP, and point B being married to them or living with them. So this said, and for the sake of the topic of this video, let's say that you do not have any kind of complicated bridge of incident and your SP is simply texting or even calling you. How do you react? And that's where you must remember that if you are still in the same type of state as when your SP left you, they will feel it. Even if it's unconsciously, they will feel it. If they felt it before, they will feel it now, whether it's through a text or speaking with them. You must be in a different state when they text you back or call you back than you were weeks or months ago when you guys broke up. That's why I was telling you that the best way not to mess up this reunion is to work on yourself while you were single. Because if you haven't done that, when that time comes, if you haven't worked on yourself, maybe let's say you have done your SATs and you've done it so well that they are showing back up. But in the meantime, that's all you've done. You haven't really worked on yourself. Well, you are going to attract them back, but you are still going to be somehow the same person. You are still going to be needy, you are still going to be fearful, you are still going to have doubts. And because you have all those, when they start communicating with you again, after maybe the first or second call or first or second text, you are going to start feeling those negative feelings creeping up again. And that's when doubts, fears, insecurities, all of it is going to show up again. Now, let's say you did work on yourself to some extent, but when your SP is showing up, starting to contact you, sending you multiple messages, you are like, wow, that's wonderful. So first you are excited and overjoyed, but then you start getting a little nervous, and before you know it, you find yourself over analyzing things. That's exactly what happened recently to someone in my Facebook group, and she wanted some advice about how to remain calm and stop doing that. So what do you do if you are starting to get nervous this way? Well, if you are starting to get nervous, to overanalyzing things, it's a sign that no matter how good you did so far, and you probably did, you are somehow losing control right now. And that's when you need to remember one thing. You need to remember that in life, you always have choices. You have at least two choices. I like how Abraham Hicks often talks about your life or your situation being one stick. And one end of the stick is your negative situation or your negative feelings, and the other end of the stick is your positive situation or your positive feelings. So, what end of the stick are you going to choose? So, let's say you are finding yourself on the wrong end of the stick. First, you need to accept that. Okay, I'm feeling nervous right now. Once you admitted that, like that person in my Facebook group, you need to ask yourself the following question. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling nervous? Why am I starting to be over analyzing things? Most likely, if you are getting nervous in some way, it's because you are somehow projecting negative thoughts. What if I was fooling myself? What if it was too good to be true? What if I wasn't good enough still? The best way to find out your specific answer is to meditate on it. Sit quietly on a chair in silence for a few minutes, taking deep breaths, quieting your mind, and then ask the question in your head. Ask the question, why do I feel this way? And once you send the question, be open to receive your answer. If you do this for a few days, and if you actually do this before falling asleep at night, you will come up with an answer, with your specific answer. But no matter what the answer is, it is probably going to be related to fear. When we doubt, when we're getting nervous, when we start overthinking things, the big feeling that lays in the background is fear. So compare your situation to driving a car. Steering the wheel gently in order to stay on the road and not lose control. Driving a car from point A to point B is an easy yet every moment situation control type thing. So, in your situation, when you've just got your SP back, control the situation moment to moment gently, correcting yourself if you feel that you're losing control. This is the best way to control your fear, no matter what type of fear you have, as you're starting to handle the return of your SP. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please like the video, share and subscribe. And if you want personal help for your particular case, please check the links down below. And as always, I'll see you on my next video.